Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Khalid. But today is the 8th of July 2025. These are the stories that we try to understand, decipher during the course of the show. We'll begin, ladies and gentlemen, with Pakistan, that at the United Nations Forum has warned of escalating terror threat from Afghanistan. This was said, of course, by our ambassador of the UN, Ambassador Asim Iftikhar Ahmed, who told the UN General Assembly that there were groups that were operating from ungoverned spaces inside of Afghanistan. We all know who these groups are. We've talked about them many a times. We've seen the number of incidents that have been happening in the last few days as well. We've seen how our defense forces are also on the front line as far as thwarting all such attempts are concerned. But the fact remains that there are issues with such outfits that are gaining ground, and also the fact that they are harboring space within our neighboring country of Afghanistan. This is what has been highlighted by Asim Iftikhar Sahab at the United Nations. This also and to add to that, there has been a secretary level meeting between the Afghan side and the Pakistani side also very recently, and of course both the sides reiterated the resolve to work together in different domains, and this is also what we'll highlight during the course of this first segment of tonight's show as well. Our second story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the use of AI tools. We've seen many times, in fact recently, if you have gone to X or Twitter, you must have seen so many people using Grok, that is the AI tool that you can use under the rubric of X, and you can ask it anything and it answers, and a lot of people have been misusing whatever to ask personal questions, political questions, and even questions on celebrities and their personal lives as well. Where should one put the limit or the red line as far as the proper use of AI is concerned? We'll highlight different aspects of that in our second story, because the BBC has also taken out a story in this very respect, that is the positive and the negative of AI, in a very recent report. We'll be also talking about Pakistani startups that have delivered prosthetics to children in Gaza, and many children have benefited from it. We'll be talking to one of these startups, and whose founder and CEO will be our guest in the third segment. We'll also be talking about the ninth martyrdom anniversary of Burhan Wani. Burhan Wani, the icon of the Kashmiri youth, who instead of becoming a doctor, because of circumstances, became a freedom fighter and fought till his last breath for the rights of the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Then we'll be talking about corruption in the India-Israel defense deal. This has been highlighted by us a couple of days back in one of our segments as well, but we wanted to highlight it again because Rahul Gandhi has talked about it in the Indian Parliament, and what he has talked about, this was what we will be talking about as well. Lastly, we'll be talking about the Indian actor Saif Ali Khan, who is going to lose 150,000 crore worth of Indian crore rupees worth of property under the Enemy Property Act. We'll be telling you why he is going to lose this property, and what under what act maybe this property no longer be considered his and might be seized by the government. Let's begin with our first segment, and that concerns Afghanistan, Pakistan, terror threats, terror outfits that are harboring in Afghanistan, and time and again the fact that this very issue has been highlighted by Pakistan on different fora. Recently in the United Nations General Assembly by Asim Iftikhar Ahmed Sahab, who is our United Nations ambassador, speaks volumes of what Pakistan has been asking the world to do, but the world isn't reacting the way it should. Nevertheless, there has been a meeting also between both the secretary level sides of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Let's see whether that brings some dividends as well. We've been joined by Major General Zahid Mahmood Sahab, who is our defense analyst and a regular around show. It's always a pleasure to talk to him. Thank you very much, sir, to have joined us. I'll begin with Pakistan's warning at the UNGA. Nothing new there as well. But I'd like to understand how credible, how urgent is this, which talks about a growing nexus between the TTP or the Fitna al-Khawarij, the BLA or the Fitna al-Hindustan and the Majid Brigade, and why has the international community, in your point of view, been rather slow to act despite all the proofs, facts, figures that have been provided by Pakistan time and again?
Thank you very much, Umar, for the invite. I think this is very critical juncture. The whole world is facing these non-state actors and they are thinking that this is a big threat, and it's not only Pakistan but other parts of other countries of the world also are facing this menace, and they have faced it in the past as well. Now, why Pakistan? Pakistan has the advantage, as we are now presiding over the Security Council chair. the chairs with us, and that is the forum from where you can speak about this part of the world, especially Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the victim of the accumulative mistakes which we have made. That's why this is international responsibility, and especially led by United States of America, because they have been involved in the two wars, war against Russia and then their own war against Taliban, and after that poorly crafted withdrawal, and that recognition of that poorly crafted withdrawal has come none other than from the White House. The President Trump has very categorically said that this was the most embarrassing withdrawal. Though a lot of politics is attached, but it is evident they have already left $7 billion
worth of arms and ammunition.
Arms and ammunition. And I'm not taking it that there's nothing, nothing behind this poorly crafted withdrawal. This was not a withdrawal of two rebel groups, African rebel groups, or some two.
So, in your point of view, it was a well thought of withdrawal.
I'm sure there must be something behind it. Whosoever were planning leaving of these weapons, we have been in military, Saab, for 36, 37 years, and even if we are, compelled to withdraw from some post or from some military operation, if we cannot take out our equipment, we destroy it. We don't leave it in the hands of the enemy. So these are the set patterns. This was withdrawal of NATO. This was withdrawal of the American forces. This was not an ordinary withdrawal. But having said that, I think there is recognition and realization in the United States of America also. We have been recently cooperating with them with regards to terrorism and the threat which is emanating from Afghanistan.
We've handed them one of the terrorists.
We have handed over Fakirullah or something like that, the terrorist. ISKP is there, ISIS. And these factions, these rebel groups, these non-state actors, they have no religion, no state, and no objectives political. Anybody who can pay them well, they will be kind of a franchise available to them for act of terrorism.
So mercenaries.
Yes. So because they have nothing to do, unfortunately there are no economic activities in Afghanistan. There is not an all-inclusive government in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is in bad shape, and once again I reiterate and I repeat that today's Afghanistan is because of the accumulative mistakes of the international community.
All right.
So we all are responsible. That's why Pakistan is, because we are the biggest victims. 80,000, more than 80,000 lives. These are serious figures.
And we continue to lose lives.
Yes, and more than $150 billion in economy. Our social strata has changed. We have lost so much in social cultural domain. That nobody can imagine what we have lost. This pain is only felt in Pakistan, and Pakistan is the biggest victim of this mismanagement of this conflict.
I understand completely, but TTP or Fitna al-Khawarij, that has been designated by the United Nations as a terrorist organization with having more than 6,000 fighters. This is an open, this is not a secret, it's an open fact that has been highlighted time and again by different countries across the world, also by the United Nations. They roam freely within the Afghan territory, pose a grave threat to Pakistan's national security. Why doesn't Afghanistan understand that? What is Afghan strategy in all of that?
But look, I think the biggest issue is that this government in Kabul is not, that this has not come through a popular democratic process. This is because of the outcome of the war. So if even they are enjoying that power, or they're feeling good about that power, or they're feeling more powerful being in Kabul. So they owe much more to these non-state actors and the Fitna al-Khawarij people, and they feel that these were the people who supported us in a bad time, and now is the time to support them or to give them little luxury. Though there are serious quarters in Afghanistan set up also. Probably they are not having a complete control of the entire Afghanistan. So there are some commanders, some militant commanders who are probably directly dealing with the proxy sponsors. I'm talking about and hinting towards India and countries like that who wants to. So who
have been using Afghanistan.
That's why our ambassador in United Nations, he has left a room for negotiation, and probably he's left room by saying that they probably don't have that control, and there are ungoverned areas. So these are those ungoverned areas which I am also hinting at, that these are not under the control of the Kabul. Kabul is not enjoying the complete control over Afghanistan territories.
All right.
Even if they want to, want to get rid of these people, there are certain compulsions on them. They have the fear of their division within themselves. So to staying in power, to stay together, probably they are ignoring them, but time has come. There are other international, there are other countries also, like countries like China, like Russia, like even United States of America has invested so much in this region. Their own interest is in the stability of this region, though they are pursuing through other means, and China, Russia are pursuing through other means. But at the end of the day, the Afghanistan government will have to realize that this is a government for the people of Afghanistan.
All right.
So if they are not controlling them, actually if there is an instability in Pakistan, that will contribute much more to the instability in Afghanistan. Afghanis should never ever think of having stability without having better relations, or without stability
Agreed.
coming from Pakistan.
Agreed.
This is a fact. They must understand that.
Okay.
And I think there is a understanding, and probably this is continuity of this whatever visit has taken place. This is the continuity of our foreign minister, deputy prime minister visit, and hopefully things are going in the right direction, slowly but surely.
Before we go to negotiations between both the sides, I also like to understand, how do you view Pakistan's kinetic and non-kinetic response to all this terrorism that is emanating from the Afghan soil? How do you view that? What are the parameters that you feel are good enough, maybe need to be improved, in your take?
Look, Pakistan has shown a lot of restraint. Pakistan has shown a lot of responsibility for the stability of the region. But for the last few years, Pakistan is facing a lot coming from them. But Pakistan has all the information. Pakistan has the dossiers, where are where they are being harbored, who are supporting them, who are giving them the logistic supports. Pakistan was monitoring the last, the actions which Pakistani armed forces took against the militants, and probably 20 militants were killed. 30 militants were killed, and they were monitoring them. They were monitoring their movement. The moment they entered Pakistan and came into our own area, to avoid the cross-border firing, Pakistanis engaged them. So we have the information, but of course we need more collaboration. We don't want that Afghanis should give them the free license to move, the boarding, lodging, all kinds of support. That is unacceptable. But one thing is very clear: Pakistan has the capability to take them in through kinetic means inside Pakistan and inside Afghanistan also. But then there are repercussions. Afghanistan has to, it is better that they address our concerns. Whenever we are talking about these terrorists, they put, whenever there are negotiations, we will talk maybe later in the program about that, but their preference is more towards trade and other relationship, economic priorities are there, but we have the security priorities. So till the time we are not addressing these security concerns, the economic concerns cannot be addressed directly. It can't happen that we are receiving bodies every day and then we are facilitating the economic.
You talk of negotiations. There was the additional secretary level mechanism between both the Afghan and the Pakistani side that was held, in fact, yesterday. How, in your point of view, does this reflect Pakistan's commitment to structured diplomatic engagement with Afghanistan, especially in the light of the regional security dynamics that have come up recently, or have been coming up in the last few weeks and months?
Look, Pakistan is a responsible state, and Pakistan, it's not only Afghanistan. Pakistan has always given best chances to the diplomatic means for the conflict resolution. Pakistan has given the best of the respect to the international institutions like United Nations and other mechanisms and institutions of conflict management. And in Afghanistan case also, Pakistan is again and again giving chance to the diplomatic and political solutions to these. This is part of that. That's why I'm saying that this is the probably the continuity of our foreign minister Ishaq Dar's visit to Afghanistan, where this mechanism was decided, and probably we have very good mechanisms of discussions and taking things forward with Afghanistan. The issue is with the Kabul government, with the political face they have, or with the approach. But probably there is now realization, and hopefully for their betterment, things are going in a right direction. Ambassador Ali Assad is a seasoned ambassador. He exactly knows how to deal with the situation, and probably there is some seriousness has been shown by Afghanistan.
Right.
And slowly and gradually we must enhance these interactions, and we must increase the number of interactions of the different groups, even people to people contact. That's why Pakistan is always facilitating Afghani movement inside outside Pakistan through proper regulated measures and means, because we want to see a stable Afghanistan. We want to facilitate the people of Afghanistan. Unfortunately, there is a huge understanding, there is a clear understanding in Pakistan that unfortunately the biggest victim of this Kabul approach are the people of Afghanistan.
Agreed.
They are bigger victim than the Pakistanis.
Agreed.
So Afghani people need to understand this, that if their government is, they are not putting pressure on their government to improve upon the relationship with Pakistan and other regional, we are not saying that they should not have relationship with India, but they should have economic, political, military relationship with India, but not act as
at the behest of Pakistan.
Yes, not at the behest of Pakistan, and they should not act as a client of a proxy state. That is the issue with us. That is the challenge.
That is the challenge that Pakistan has.
Both are sovereign countries. They can have very good
whatever relations they want, but not at the cost of Pakistan.
If Afghanis have this confidence that the New Delhi is more, caring, them being a Muslims, much more than a Muslim facing them in New Delhi. So if they are comfortable, this is their own choice.
Well, I can understand the sarcasm in your tone as well. But the fact is that given these recent discussions or meetings, including that at the additional secretary level that was held yesterday, do you feel Pakistan can push Afghanistan for counter-terrorism collaboration or cooperation, so that if they can't do, if the Afghan government can't do things on their own, maybe Pakistan can help?
But there need to be, we need to establish the trust. There is a trust deficit, to be very honest.
All right.
That has to be mended. And if Afghanis, they come out and they share the areas in which they want to get support, why not? We have been collaborating with them. If Pakistan had not been their neighbor, they might not have been on the map of the world, let there be no doubt. The Russian application was not a small application. Now the 20 years of war from Americans, Pakistan has always been shielding Afghani brothers and sisters. And we have sacrificed so much. We have suffered so much.
That is
Why?
true.
Because of
and we continue to
Afghanistan.
suffer.
Yes.
With the incidents that we see almost at least once a week. If you say there is a trust deficit with Afghanistan, can Pakistan, in your point of view, looking at CPAC and other issues that concern not only Pakistan but also countries such as China, can Pakistan bring forward a regional coalition with China, maybe Iran, Central Asian countries, to isolate and eliminate these Afghan-based terror proxies?
This is a kind of a compulsion on us. Not only on us, this is a compulsion on China also, this is a compulsion on the regional countries also, Central Asian countries also, because Afghanistan is becoming the hub and epicenter of the transnational terrorism. So this is the best sanctuary available. There are no laws, there are no, there's not much of the writ of the government, and there is no, my apologies to say this, there is not, we are not seeing that kind of sincerity inside Kabul, unfortunately. I don't know what are the reasons. They might be trying it, but now this is becoming a hub of the transnational terrorism. So this is affecting all.
Exactly, and the world needs to realize and take action before it's way too late, before these countries themselves that are not taking any action become the victims, just as Pakistan has become one. We'll be back after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and of course we're discussing with General Zahid the different modalities of the nexus of terrorism that is emanating from the Afghan soil, and also the discussions that are being held between both the sides on different issues. Last question to you, General Saab, concerns the repatriation process for the Afghan nationals currently in Pakistan. We know that Iran is also systematically repatriating many hundreds of thousands of Afghans from their soil, and it has been recently been said by one of their ministers as well. In which ways, in your point of view, can Pakistan leverage this mechanism to push this mechanism of dialogue between at the additional secretary level and other levels to push for an orderly and verifiable repatriation process for the Afghan nationals, especially the undocumented ones, because this is an important issue, and this is more or less sometimes gets related with terrorist incidents here as well.
Of course, unfortunately, there were many Afghan refugees, and mostly the illegal refugees. They were found involved in the acts of terrorism. Then they were found involved in the harboring these terrorists, and also giving a lot of logistics supports. So that was a big concern for Pakistan, and we are seeing the same in, especially there is a surge after this Israeli attack, and there have been instances where the Afghan nationals were involved in providing support to the Mossad. So that's being taken very seriously by Iranians, and there is a huge surge. Same way, Pakistan has not many concerns, but again, Pakistanis show a lot of affiliation, people-to-people contact still after facing so much negative coming from Afghanistan. Still, people of Pakistan have a soft corner for the Afghan.
That is what the people of Pakistan are. They have only love and respect.
This is our making, we are like that. So still there are concerns. There are students who are studying in Pakistan. There are girls who are studying in the universities, and we can understand once these poor girls, these women will go back to Afghanistan, what's going to happen with them.
Exactly.
So that's a huge challenging thing. But having said that, I think Pakistan has decided to become a hard state. What is a hard state? Where the lawfare is taking place, where the legal things are being conducted. And then Pakistan is trying to regularize our border issues. A lot of illegal spectrum, like things like illegal spectrum, economy, migration, and then many unchecked movement. Pakistan can't afford this. And why should we afford this? Why should Pakistan be a soft state? So, but I think these negotiations, this will be part of that, and we want to conduct a very respectful, honorable, and socially, morally, and economically a safe withdrawal of these people from Pakistan and their movement back to their country, and that can be done through these mechanisms which we are establishing. That should be one of the top priority agenda points. So mutually, with a lot of mutual understanding, maybe a timeline is given, and then that is followed up with a joint. We can establish a joint mechanism.
Yes,
also.
that
mechanism of repatriation, joint mechanism for the border control, border monitoring, security operations, even if they want us to help them in conducting those. So there are many things which can be done.
That can be done.
The objective should be a stable Afghanistan and stable Pakistan.
All right. Thank you very much, General Zahid Mahmood Sahab, to have joined us, to have discussed many different modalities of terrorism in Pakistan and how to thwart it kinetically and non-kinetically. Let's come to our, thank you very much to have joined us. Then let's come to our second story, concerns the use of AI tools, whether it be Grok, whether it be ChatGPT and so many others. There are always positives and negatives to it. Now, to discuss more on that, we've been joined by Dr. Ali Farhan. He's a PhD in biomechanical imaging and AI. Thank you very much, Dr. Ali, to have joined us. I hope you're hearing me properly.
Thank you so much, Umar, that you invited me for the talk.
Let's begin. How, in your point of view, can AI tools like Grok, like ChatGPT, bridge the knowledge gap in undeserved areas or Pakistan through Urdu and regional language support? Do you feel that there is a scope here as far as these platforms are concerned?
Yeah, actually, currently, that in the world there is a boom that using the ChatGPT, and a lot of our mindset have been provoked, and we are stick to using ChatGPT for analytical thinking, for the research, for the politics, for anything. So, in my opinion, that it's very debatable in concern that we have pros and cons in using such kind of tools. And if we have a DeepSeek, and that is an other trained tool for the information that we retrieve. So what I think in concern of the academic, and also like in the field of journalism and all these the advancement of the technological aspects, we are lacking at one side our own the human built insights that we have. And the other thing is that, as I am AI expert, so in other concern, that yes, we have to deploy and use these tools to get benefit for the aspects that what we want. But we need to do balance in the using of the tools, and we don't rely on these tools for all aspects that what people think that AI is just that you can do and get anything from the AI. But what I think that AI has also some limitations, but we consider that these limits are bounded in concern of the humans techniques that what human used to apply in the tools to develop the critical thinking. But in reality, the AI is just giving you what you have input or what you have feed in the system. So these are the things that what we can focus in the current era, and but we cannot control in this way because there is a huge traffic, and that traffic is under a lot of like you can say the communication, and also for the related to the different subjects, and not only related to the information technology, but now you can see in the healthcare, in the medicine, the telemedicine, in the teaching, in the robotics, that all of these things are we compiled and we retrieve the information by using these tools. So
all right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ali, to have joined us. We've also been joined by Asif Rasool in the studios. Asif, in your point of view, how serious is the risk of AI tools such as Grok and so many others being used for plagiarism in academic institutions across Pakistan?
Thank you very much, Joseph. I mean, this is such a the question or the challenge or the issue or problem which is just staring us in the face, and right now, unfortunately, we do not have any solution for this. People are doing it rampantly, and they do not know what will happen tomorrow. But now in academic, for example, today I was talking to one of my colleagues. We just came across certain cases during final examination at my university where students, they did not even write something from like other books. Even during exam, they were using ChatGPT and all that. So this is one aspect. Second is for the research. I mean, this is the easiest way. Why? Because previously it used to happen that it was very easy for us to...
Okay, Asif, we have to come back after a short break. Stay tuned. We're discussing the use or the misuse of AI in technology. Do you feel Pakistani journalists are beginning to over-rely on AI-generated content at the cost of original reporting and fieldwork? We do our research, but I'm just asking you the
recently, yes, there are a lot many people whom I follow. And it's not only like local, but I have seen even at an international level. For example, there are media houses, even national television of various countries, even advanced countries, where I have seen that they, I mean, they even sometimes don't go for the fact check. And then sometimes they have to excuse publicly that, you know, we could not understand and all that. So in our case now, I mean, it doesn't matter where I am. For example, right now, this is like a full-fledged platform. You've got like reporters all over the Pakistan. They're going to do their research. At least they inquire from people, and then they are going to share certain thing on national. But now when it comes to like other like private sector as well, so if I upload any video from anywhere without any context, they would just rely, the second day you are going to see it in different articles, you are going to see in their evening programs as well, especially in where they just go like, they've got their own channel, so they are just going to quote a lot. So I would say that yes, they are over-relying on it.
Asif, I'd like to also understand, how can the normal layman in Pakistan who is not that high in AI literacy distinguish between real and AI generated content?
You know, this is a very important and very interesting question. Thank you very much. This is a great challenge for us right now. Why? Because as already we have discussed in a lot many programs that people in our part of the world, especially in Pakistan, I think now we have got fixed echo chambers of different political parties, of different groups. So now if I am adhering to any one particular group or my political ideology, so I would just go to these specific programs, I would listen to these specific people, whatever they are sharing, I have got nothing to do whether they properly checked it or not, or whatever they are just propagating. So for a layman, since they are not familiar, they are not there. In the problem with this echo chamber is whatever they are saying, you take them as it is, and then you do not even stop. You start propagating it further. So this is the dilemma of ordinary Pakistani, I would say.
I mean, it's a dilemma, but let's hope we can overcome it at the earliest. Let's come to our next story, and that concerns prosthetics. How different countries are using the technology made by Pakistan. An example of that is, of course, Palestine, where children are using prosthetics made by one startup in Pakistan that is called Bionics. We have the privilege of having with us the CEO and founder of Bionics, Asad Niaz. Asad, thank you very much to have joined us. Asad, I'd like to understand, how did your company evolve from this Pakistan-based startup to such a humanitarian extensive lifeline for people, children in war-ravaged areas such as Palestine? How did you manage to do that? How did you get access to that?
So thank you so much for having me today. And yeah, Pakistan is a great market to develop a product that can go globally. And it's been 9 years since we are working on prosthetics, and we have given thousands of limbs across Pakistan. And we learned how to make a prosthetic which is lightweight, durable, and functional, especially in the areas where our people have to do a lot of labor-intensive work. So we built something that is not just only useful for Pakistan, but also around the world. And that's why once we saw that international market and international companies lacked some innovation, so we started using our technology to help people in all the war zones around the world, especially in Gaza, that we have recently done.
All right. We'll continue our conversation, but we have to go to a short break. We'll be right back. And we continue our conversation regarding startups and how they are helping even countries like Palestine, and with the use of prosthetics by their children who have been affected by the war that has, of course, been ravaging them left, right and center. Asif Rasool, I'd like to understand, prosthetics are very important under the current conditions, especially for children or even young adults and women who've been affected by the war, whether it be in Palestine and other areas of the world. When you look at startups such as Bionics, who are doing such a formidable role to do that, with such examples that are now being cited by these children in Palestine as well, how does that reflect on Pakistan's role internationally, globally, as far as not only mitigation of issues, but also helping people in need directly or indirectly?
Well, first of all, I really feel very proud just to see that Pakistan has started preparing, and Pakistan has started supporting these AI generated or AI developed or AI supported limbs, especially for the children. In Pakistan, I just came across a lot many examples where people who have got white collar jobs, or people who have got enough monetary aspect and all that, they can afford it. But yes, when it comes to this philanthropic aspect, I think this industry is going to play a very vital role in this regard. And Pakistan is always raising its voice at international level, at even a national level, a regional level, just to go for to resolve the conflict, as we have seen in the recent conflict where Pakistan, obviously we have seen our voices inside Washington DC, we have seen like in Arab world. So whatever the issues and problem are, Pakistan usually play its part.
Startups are also extremely important. We've got a very thriving SME sector. Do you feel examples such as these are going to put further impetus into other startups and SMEs that are working in this direction, other directions as well?
Yes, it can play a very, very important role. But first of all, we have got to, take certain measures so that this sector makes it gets prosperous, they get just every kind of equipment, and people are properly trained, and they are there to adopt properly, so that it should flourish in the full bloom and full momentum. Then we will be able to get. And right now we have seen there are a lot many startups which have started working on. It's not like this is one example. There are many examples, and they are just making very good progress. It is slow, but they are making very good progress on this.
All right, we've been also rejoined by Asad Niaz, who is the CEO and founder of Bionics. Asad, we were talking before we had to go to a break. Could you walk us a little bit through the innovative process your organization or your startup uses, from smartphone-based scans to 3D printing custom prosthetics? And in your point of view, how does this approach make rehabilitation accessible for vulnerable communities such as in Palestine?
So right now, the challenge with the prosthetic industry that 80% people around the world do not have access to a prosthetic, just because there are very few clinics available globally that can provide prosthetic arm, especially the bionic arm. So people have to travel all the way to a different part of the world, and especially if they are in areas like Gaza where they are not able to travel. So this solution is a lifesaver for them. They can just use a mobile device just to take the measurements, and we can ship the bionic arm at their designated place by with the help of course, our partners who help us deliver these limbs.
All right. Last question to you. I'd like to understand, this was your first time providing prosthetics in a war-affected zone. Were there any unique challenges that you faced, and how did you ensure precision and comfort, for example, fitting the prosthetics to the children from such a location and in such an area where it's very difficult to access sometimes?
So actually, it's not the first time. We have been doing this in Pakistan because we have that war-affected zone in KPK as well. And we have so many users. They have been using it for many years now, from Bajor to almost all the affected areas that Pakistan had. And this was the right time where we when there was no solution available in Gaza, and we were the one with a lot of experience in these areas. We had an opportunity to serve there, and this is just a beginning. And hopefully we'll do more in near future. And there are challenges, of course, with the logistics, but if you have right partners, then you are able to do it just like we did this time.
Challenges remain, but the fact is that despite those challenges, you have been able to deliver in a very timely and effective fashion, and the fact remains that there are examples to cite that from Palestine. Thank you very much, Anas Niaz, to have joined us, CEO and founder of Bionics. Last story is very quickly. Today is the 9th martyrdom anniversary of Burhan Wani, the Kashmiri youth leader who of course was martyred on this very day by the Indian troops. He of course wanted to become a doctor, but circumstances led him, and circumstances that were because of the attitude and the aggression of the Indian authorities that led him to become a freedom fighter. And then he led the youth of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir till such time that he parted ways with them, because he got martyred today on this very day in 2016. But his life, his legacy lives on. Next, ladies and gentlemen, India-Israel defense deal, something we've talked about in the past as well, but the fact is it has again come up because Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has said this in a statement that Modi and Adani orchestrated a scheme to earn billions by copying an Israeli defense website. Modi's Make in India, so to speak, campaign talks about the nexus not only between the Zionists and Hindutva, but also the defense corruption that has been exposed once again. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, Saif Ali Khan, the Indian actor, is going to lose 150 crore rupees worth of property under the Enemy Property Act. This royal property is being labelled as enemy property because the legal heir, Abida Sultan, moved to Pakistan, triggering the Enemy Property Act. The Indian courts are nevertheless re-evaluating whether the inheritance that was passed legally to Saif's grandmother, or if the estate legally belonged to someone considered an enemy national, in which case the Indian government can seize it. Let's see how this bodes, but things don't look good as far as Saif Ali Khan is concerned. With that, we come to an end of today's newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with news story segments that pertain to us, you in Pakistan. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.